So in this video, we're going to talk about the cash burn inducing incentives that are way too good and guaranteeing sales, trapping existing customers for repeat purchases. We're also going to talk about management shakeup and what's going on with the Chinese equity market that has caused a massive rebound, but also a slight pullback and what's going on with that. So first, let's talk about the massive cash burn. So as you guys may or may not know, I'm on a massive road trip, and today I just finished the road trip. I have a lot of footage to edit through, but during my last highway swap station near Wenzhou, what's really incredible was that at the swap station, there were actually some NIO service reps there handing out free snacks via the supply station. And this was just really heartwarming, all right? Extremely heartwarming. And I was so gracious to them and so happy that I was able to get some snacks and a special mystery gift package, and also a mystery gift package within the NIO app, which turned out to be just 8 NIO points, which is nothing. But, you know, we'll talk more about that in my road trip video, probably coming tomorrow, all right? But you got to think about this from a shareholder's perspective. So not only, well, battery swap is, of course, NIO's biggest moat, right? A lot of NIO owners buy the car for battery swap. But think of it from a shareholder's perspective. You're offering highway battery swap service fee for free, all right? You're just paying for electricity. The service fee, which is around 50 RMB per swap, that's supposed to be money in the pockets for NIO, is omitted. It's free because NIO is feeling very gracious and giving that out for free for holiday. And let me just clarify, because I got my NIO early, I get unlimited free swaps. So I don't pay for the swaps at all whenever I swap at any swap station. But I am paying for the battery rental. So I'll be returning the 100 kilowatt hour battery pack tomorrow morning. I've rented it for basically 5 days for 88 RMB per day, which is like around 13 bucks, all right, 15 bucks. So yeah, I think it was a pretty good rental, all right, in my opinion. Upgrading the battery pack, fantastic. But I am paying money for that, all right? Okay, that's okay, all right? I understand you're trying to be nice to NIO owners. Very good, I like it. But also, these snacks as well. Like, NIO is really doing things above and beyond, all right? And nobody else is really doing this. You don't really see Tesla service reps there handing out snacks and everything. So this, of course, has the benefit of NIO owners pretty much guaranteed 100% that their next car will be a NIO. Their next car will probably also be a NIO. So you have a very high chance of a repeat purchase. Just NIO owners loving the brand, all right? But also from a shareholder's perspective, you know, you're supposed to be earning money, but you're inducing quite a lot of cash burn, which I think is worth it. But of course, in the long run, you want things to be profitable. You can't just keep giving things out for free, right? So, you know, I'm conflicted on this as a shareholder. Man, they're giving this out for free. But as a NIO owner, I'm like, yes, all right, man, come on. And those waffles, those NIO Life waffles, they taste fantastic. My son also loves them. So, you know, you have both sides of the coin. So, yes, NIO's supposed to be earning money from the swaps, but they're not earning money from the swaps during this holiday season. That it is what it is, right? NIO is trying to be very gracious, but this is why there's this shift in management, this change in management that they just announced today. So here's what they announced. They announced that Mr. Eddie Georgia Scoff and Mr. Nicholas Paul Collins have been appointed as new directors by the company's board of directors with effect from February 7th, 2024. In addition, Mr. James Gordon Mitchell has resigned as the director of the company effective February 7th. So Mr. Eddie Georgia Scoff has held the position of Chief Investment Officer at CYVN Holdings, LLC, since May 2023. So he is the guy that came up with the decision to invest in NIO. And obviously, they did put up quite a bit of money to invest in NIO at around $7, $2.2 billion, and they're down. They're down on their investment, but obviously They're there because they don't. First, they believe in the company, of course. If they don't, they wouldn't invest in NIO. So they believe in the company, but they also want to see a return on their capital, as do all shareholders. Okay? So he has also been a director of 48 Limited and 47 Limited since June 2023, and director of CYVN Investments RSC Limited since July 2023. Previously, from August 2019 to May 2023, Mr. Scaff served as senior advisor to digital infrastructure at Mubadala. Before this, he served as the chief strategy officer at Emirates Integrated Telecom Company from August 2017 to May 2019. So he's on board representing CYVN, and also we know for a fact 100% in June NIO is going to expand into the United Arab Emirates. So he's probably there also to make sure that everything goes smoothly, and also perhaps also make some changes in corporate decisions to benefit shareholders more. And I think more of the recent things that we're seeing right now, with the changes in like a lot of the freebies going away, NIO points being shifted, the insurance level of insurance, the service offered also being, lowered to meet the cost ratio, to make things a bit more profitable, etc. So I think behind everything, they are pushing the buttons. CYVN, they're pushing the buttons, in my opinion. I don't think NIO CEO would actually do these kind of things. He's really for providing everything he can for NIO owners. So what's also really cool, Mr. Nicholas Paul Collins served as the Chief Executive Officer at 47 Limited since January 2024. Prior to this role, Mr. Collins worked at Jaguar Land Rover from March 2015 to December 2023 in various capacities, including Director of both Jaguar Land Rover Limited and Jaguar Land Rover Holdings Limited, and an Executive Officer of Vehicle Programs at Jaguar Land Rover Limited. Mr. Collins began his career in the automotive industry in 1993 and has extensive experience in global product development, product and business strategy, and vehicle development and launch across Ford Motor Company and Jaguar Land Rover. Mr. Collins received his master's degree in mechanical engineering from the University of Nottingham in 1998 and an MBA from Henley Management College in 2004. The company would like to welcome Mr. Eddie Georgia Scaff and Mr. Nicholas Paul to the board. The company believes that their expertise and experience will be a valuable asset to its development. At the same time, the company would like to express its sincere gratitude to Mr. James Gordon Mitchell for his contribution to the company and his service on the board during his tenure. So these guys, especially the second guy, Mr. Nicholas Paul Collins, lots of experience in the traditional auto game, okay, automotive game. And this is what I think for the longest time NIO really needed, all right? Because, Lee Bin, William Lee, and Chin Lee Hong, these guys are pioneers, they're entrepreneurs, they're very smart, they see things 20 steps ahead, but they don't come from traditional auto management. And even the guys, just other management guys, they don't come from traditional auto. And we're seeing, especially with Xpeng has seen a big turnaround actually for them, especially when they hired the lady that came from Chang'an, who used to be the CEO of Chang'an, and she really turned things around. She identified a lot of the things that Xpeng was overpaying for. They cut off the excess fat that some of the directors in Xpeng really, should not be there, and just Xpeng was being overcharged for parts, etc. And they were really able to make a big turnaround for Xpeng. So I think, in my opinion, of course we need the vision of William Lee, but also some guy like this guy, all right, Mr. Nicholas Paul Collins, to really guide them and how a traditional auto company works to really fine-tune things for profitability. That's what we want, all right? That's what we want, and I think that's what we're getting. That's what we're getting. And these guys will offer very good advice for the top management team and really guide them. Because, if you're thinking 20 steps ahead, you might not be looking at what you're stepping on right now, and you could be stepping on some muddy waters. And that could really hurt you if you're just looking forward and not looking down. All right. So this is the shakeup in management, which I really, really like, in my personal opinion. It's going to bring some good changes. So also, what's going on with the Chinese equity markets, world markets around the world. All right, this is from Reuters. And especially on Tuesday, as China's panicky market staged a sharp rally on reports that the government may intervene directly and on a leveling off in U.S. Treasury yields after their jobs-inspired bounce back this week. So early action was all in China. We've seen the Chinese stocks slide this past month quite substantially, by more than 20% these past 3 months, and has snowballed amid foreign capital flight, tense geopolitics, a deepening domestic deflation due to a property bust, and the government is struggling to stabilize. The early action was all in China, however, where benchmark stock indexes recorded their biggest one-day jump in almost 2 years amid a swirl of reports about regulatory action to staunch the selling, state-sponsored purchases, and rising concerns at the top of the Politburo. So this is all because President Xi Jinping said he will discuss the ailing market with financial regulators, according to Bloomberg. Regulators also announced further curbs to short selling, and state investors said they were expanding their stock buying, back buying plans. Many put the 3% plus jump in blue chips there on Tuesday down to state-backed investor dubbed the national team, rather than a sudden reversal of investor sentiment. So it's more like big funds pulling the trigger and buying stocks. The sentiment is still quite bearish, all right, amongst Chinese investors here in China. People are still like complaining about losses and everything. So the rout was spurred last week after Republican President candidate Donald Trump said he would impose tariffs on China again if he were elected in November, and they could exceed 60%. And you're seeing really this end of globalization, right? You know, the U.S. really depends on China, and doing that really hurts both the U.S. economy and China's economy. And obviously, this is going to hurt China a lot more than it hurts the U.S. So this is not really a good situation. So the good news, guys, President Xi Jinping is really taking things into his own hands when it comes to the stock market route. He's going to try to turn things around, which is very, very good. Now, the bad thing is it's mostly the big money, the big whales that are buying. Retail in China doesn't seem to be that optimistic about this move, all right? And I think the only way to really get things turned around for China in general is if President Xi Jinping takes a more peaceful approach and less competitive and more trade focused, a pro-trade kind of approach for peace and unity with the Americans, and or also if somebody else comes along, somebody like Deng Xiaoping or Hu Jintao, who really just supports globalization, all right, and opens the country up more. But this is just my personal opinion, all right? As always, stay safe, stay healthy. Peace out.